Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
The 99 PGA Championship was held at Medina Country Club, which is one of Tom's courses, and they contacted you for a little bit of information. Talk a little bit about that and where that quest kind of took you.
Well, that was sort of the beginning, Bart, when I got a call from the Medina historian, Wally Hunt, and they were looking for information on Tom because they were trying to do their media package for the PGA, and also they were beginning to write their history of their course. And they were finding there was very little available on Tom, at least anything current. And so they contacted me and some of the family members that still lived in Chicago to try and get some information. And that sort of started me on this whole thing. Nothing had been written, and they sort of, as Whitten had said, he was sort of a victim of history. Well, the victim of a number of things, I think, but it just had gotten lost. And it was interesting and, have to say personally, a little dismaying to me to pick up a history book of American golf and find out that he's not even mentioned in the index. So the amount of work that he did and the work to promote and build the game, I thought at least deserves some mention.
Now, we had talked earlier, and you mentioned that you had been in contact with the Golf Collectors Society, and they had kind of an interesting spin on things as it relates to Tom. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, this was a group that I had no idea even existed, but it was a group that collects all kinds of golf memorabilia, clubs, balls, tees, matchbooks, figurines, you name it. If it's golf, they collect it. But as I was looking for information on Tom, I ran across a member of that group, and he introduced me to the group and asked me to attend some of the meetings. And it was interesting to me to go to a meeting of the Golf Collectors Society and find out everyone knew my name, or at least knew who my grandfather was. Here I was trying to search out information on him, and these people knew all about him. So
interesting that the purists, so to speak, know exactly who Tom Bendelow is. Now, we've talked a little bit about Tom's contributions here in Michigan. Let's talk a little bit about the family ties here and the roots, so to speak, here in the great state of Michigan.
Well, my roots go back to Port Huron. My brother came back in '49 and has been in the Montague-Whitehall area. We've had some long ties, as well as my grandfather had a summer place in Palisades Park on the lake, and the family used to summer there quite a bit. So we've had a long association with the state of Michigan, and it always feels like home to come back.
How did your grandfather approach the business side of architecture, and how did he approach designing and building his golf courses?
Well, let me say that I could spend more money on a golf club than he spent on building a course, particularly in the early days. His thrust was really to get people to play.
Now, some of Tom's golf courses date back into the early 1900s. Any of those that have been recognized, so to speak, as historical places?
I think the first one that really recognized as a sort of a national historic place would be Van Cortlandt Park in New York. He not only redesigned the courses, but sort of set the supervision standards for all public golf courses in the country. And it really was at that point that the whole golfing and the public side at least took off.
So Stuart, you're on a quest right now to kind of get your grandfather's name out there and get him into the history book, so to speak. Anyone else out there that's kind of helping you out?
Well, I think there are, and it's been interesting and encouraging to me to find other people that are out there trying to preserve the history and sort of set the record straight, as I guess the quest that I'm on. But
I think it's obviously important to recognize that your grandfather not only was a pioneer in the industry in all aspects, teaching, sounds like a little bit of club design and getting involved in equipment, but also architecture as well. But I think most importantly, his main focus was getting people to play and making the game more popular. I think that Tom Bendelow's legacy, although his name's not on it yet, the entire golfing world owes a lot to Tom Bendelow and the Bendelow family. So thank you very much for being here, Stuart.
Thank you.